Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to OSU World Cup 2025 Group Stages Week 2. Starting off this weekend with another Group E match, a match between Vietnam and Taiwan. Both of these teams actually did have two matches prior on the weekend before that, then they both lost their matches. So mathematically, it is impossible for both of these teams to advance further into the round of 16. But with the pressure being down and with the players having hopefully no nerfs, as I do know that Vietnam did struggle a lot with that in the prior matches, I expect to see a beautiful game ahead of us today. I'm Lighton, and casting with me is also Blank Tap.
Good morning, afternoon, and or evening. And yeah, as you said, definitely a bit inconsequential to say the least. Oh, that's a tongue twister. But I do hope to see both countries still play at their fullest potential. We do love to see a tight match overall, no matter what time it is. And looking at, we have quite the abundance of stats to say the least, and some trend that I'm seeing is that Denmark is pretty good on the snapping side, and especially hidden, where Vietnam is kind of have this very exposed weak point at. But Vietnam, they themselves are pretty damn good on the aim picks, so probably gonna see some action regarding those picks.
Yep, definitely a lot of action ahead of us. Vietnam got the best result from the last weekend on the DT1, giving that 4.2 million team score, and Denmark also doing really well on the hidden one. So it's probably those maps that might be getting dropped into the bans. But that being said, though, Vietnam not looking particularly confident on the hiddens, both hidden 1 and hidden 2, potentially being their weak points, with Nomad 2 also being one of them as well. DT2, obviously being similar in skill set, does also favor Denmark, unless there was a significant underperformance from Vietnam last weekend. And I think, what are your thoughts on the bans, Blanked Up? What do you think is going to be the ban from Denmark and Vietnam?
Not gonna lie, especially for Vietnam, if you have to choose between Hidden 1 or Hidden 2, and if both of them are basically guaranteed to lose, I think Hidden 1 will be a good ban. Denmark got 3.2 million, a close loss to Taiwan by what, 100k, so Denmark definitely has plenty of firepower in that regard. But as you said, DT1 is out of the equation for Vietnam, as Denmark definitely respects the performance that Vietnam brings to this lobby.
Indeed, a 4.2 million team score is a fathomable result. Definitely something scary. And I think after seeing that from just one game with basically 2 FCs, one choke at the end, and a 700,000 score from something else, I would also probably ban them if I were in Denmark's shoes. And now, if I were Vietnam, I'd probably ban Hidden 1 as well. And that leads us to the overall strategy that might come in for this entire matchup. Obviously, Hidden 1 being more ulti, more techy, and does have some rhythm control to that, so I would expect more ult maps to be played, something like maybe HR2, obviously having that precision element, which does make the map a lot more trivial and a lot more leading into another skill set, but definitely a possibility for Denmark. Also, as we've said prior, as we've established prior, there's also speed that Vietnam was not feeling particularly comfortable on, and a lot of contested picks throughout the entire map pool. I wonder if you're going to see the 1-1 today, because Vietnam, you did say before that Vietnam is good at aim, and other aim maps include HR1, Nomad 1, and Fremont Free, so maybe a potential frontline to open for them.
Yeah, Denmark did play Hard Rock 1 once, and Vietnam played Hard Rock 1 twice, and in both attempts, Vietnam did outscore Denmark. In fact, they improved upon it, but they are going to ban DT2. Much more leaning on the respect regarding the tapping capability, and Vietnam, maybe they are feeling much better on the hiddens. Maybe it was the lack of practice, maybe it was a bit of those mind blocks that...
Yep, I think it was more about the fact that Vietnam is not particularly comfortable on speed. They did have one of the lowest results throughout the entire weekend on the speed maps, on the Nomad 2 in particular, and I think they did ban GT2 for both of their matches. So I obviously understand the fact that don't want to play something that they're not comfortable on, that they know that they will not be doing well on, while not playing into Denmark's strength as well. And the first pick is going to be them too. So I think with that ban from DT1, I think as we've established prior, Hard Rock 1 does look pretty good for them as of now. Something to also note is possibly maybe even Fremont 3 or maybe even Fremont 2. Vietnam did outscore Denmark on that previous Fremont 2 last weekend, but it seems like they are still thinking. And we get a Nomad 4 actually, never mind.
That's very, very interesting. Theoretically, they lose. Vietnam scored 2.2 million, if I remember correctly, and Denmark, their highest is 2.4 million. But that 200,000 points difference is basically negligible when faced at such adversary. It is Nomad 4 with slight tick checks, so plenty of chances to kind of low roll your score in the lobby.
Oh, definitely. Tech maps do be like that, mapped by Wispy and Osu original as well, Warsaw Heliosphere. And in general, the map is pretty average in length, not as slider tech heavy as it was during the qualifiers with that Calgo map, but still a pretty techy map nonetheless. On paper, as you said prior, Denmark did get a better score than Vietnam. However, Vietnam, they did get a better seeding on Nomad 4 on their qualifiers run, so maybe the strategy lies there. Maybe there was a low roll, maybe it was nerfs that stopped Vietnam from performing from their potential, to show their true potential on this Nomad 4, and now with the pressure lifted, with no chances anymore to get into the round of 16, they can show what they're truly capable of.
Absolutely, last time they played this map, they have the roster of Def, Simi, another guy, and Electro Strike. Something else is currently in the lobby. I don't know if he's lobby sitting or if he's interested on switching in for one of the players, but I do feel that Def and Simi is definitely going to stay in the roster lineup.
Yep. Def 100%. It's the star player for Vietnam, having to play every single map on the qualifiers and every single map during the bracket stage as well. This is going to be your superstar. A lot of eyes are going to be drawn to him and him in particular. Simi also not being that far off, also a really good player. And for Denmark, it's going to be Sobu. Sobu also was perma-lobbying for most of the qualifiers maps and most of the maps during the bracket. So with that being said, the good luck of funds are now in the chat, and we can finally transition into this Nomad 4 Warsaw Heliosphere map by Wispy, tech map in its full swing.
Assume that something else is gonna replace Electro Strike as the fourth player. Denmark staying with their roster, which is the same as the previous time they played Nomad 4. So let's see if the prediction is gonna be wrong.
Yep.
Good luck, have fun. Going to the slider.
Definitely a risky pick for Vietnam here. Denmark on paper do have a higher score on this, but they have a world, they have so much time to prove, they have a map to prove nonetheless. And with that being said, the map is starting off a lot of sliders, slider velocity changes, a lot of slider 6-2. A very tricky map, but so far so good for both of these teams. Not a lot of misses, a few accuracy struggles for another guy. And Pole at the same time. Pole struggling tremendously with the accuracy as well, 89%, not being able to go past that 90% milestone, but still, both of these players finding its break at the same time. For FC's against feet and the slight advantage towards Vietnam, but with a miss from Simi, Denmark seems to get the edge over Vietnam early on.
The 2v3. Accuracy definitely looking much more healthy in the side of Vietnam, so maybe in the late game things can still go their way, but now though, maybe they don't need to wait that long. So with the miss and now down to a 2v2, As we see, the curtain falls, 12k difference, both team knows what's at stake, half of the map remains. And things are about to get really spicy as the nerves, once again, returning.
Yup, the Nerves probably the biggest opponent for both of these teams, especially for Vietnam. A lot of frustration from these players have been seen from the last week, but nonetheless, the Ki is on the rise. The slider velocity change is a lot more obvious here, a lot more sliders. Another guy finding another miss, but still not the miss that Denmark needed. But the combo advantage is going to be on Denmark's side nonetheless. A slight accuracy lead though. That accuracy from Pole is the factor that is holding them back. And from the miss from Beast Jonah, Vietnam are looking to secure this Nomad 4, but still there's a lot of time. There's still a fourth of the map. And as the combos goes on, as the Ki settles in, Vietnam will be driving away with this score lead, with this score bank that they just keep on holding, and it just keeps on turning left.
Something else, quite the pit stop that Vietnam has done to themselves. Definitely getting themselves a brand new wheel and driving towards the finish line with a double full combo. They will soon to pass their personal best of 2.3 million. A double mission from Simi and something else. But one star is shining bright for Vietnam. And he is not going to stop anytime soon, man.
It's death. It is death. It has always been death. And finally, Vietnam, they did take this point off of Denmark, and they could have also taken this point off of Denmark even if they played against Malaysia. Denmark got a score of 2.453 million, and Vietnam obviously outdid themselves, and finally a higher roll for them. A good start and a good mental break, basically, as they broke that barrier, broke the nerves, and now the momentum could be on their side. The morale must be high too. But Denmark, they are a tough nut to crack. A lot of maps still in their favor. I'm looking at that speed, I'm looking at that hidden, I'm looking at that reading. A lot of options to choose from. Look at that Nomad 2, look at that Nomad 3. Hidden, both hiddens as well. And with that, the momentum can be shifted back into their favor to not give Vietnam the breakpoint that they also need.
Just basically waiting for Denmark to pull the trigger on that hidden. Okay, well, I mean, took the words out of my mouth. So going to call for a hidden one over J over nose, and Denmark. They are quite scary on this map.
They indeed are. Number 5 performance throughout the last weekend. Getting a better score than both Sweden, Spain, Philippines, Ukraine, and even Brazil. 3.2 million team score, with Sobu and Iron Will being the cornerstones, the main actors of the play. While Vietnam, sadly, cannot boast with the same legacy as they got seed number 25 and 28 for both of their matches. One of the lowest results throughout the weekend, both against Taiwan and Malaysia. And honestly, I think they can do better. Maybe it was the low rolls once more, but nonetheless, a hidden one, a map about alternate, a map by mirror. A lot of tricky patterns scattered throughout the entire map. The first half of the map is going to be relatively tame in comparison to the second one. And the slow part in the middle is where a lot of teams surprisingly find a lot of misses, so I would not be surprised to see them here once again. But the main difficulty of the map, the cherry of this map is going to be the second half, where boys become men, and where a lot of misses, I would imagine, would occur.
The Winnie Hat Jr. of a map, Salty Spittoon second part. Definitely something to look out for both teams. But again, Denmark probably got it on lockdown, but it's a question of if they can do better or as good. Theoretically, they are ahead by quite a margin, but can't be too sure. You gotta do your best nonetheless, as we are waiting for the fourth player. That is Sobu for Denmark. We're about to begin soon enough, as we are seeing the roster complete from both sides. Good luck and fun. It's time for the hidden one.
It is time indeed. Def and Sobu on the opposite sides of the lobby once again. The two superstars shining from the opposite sides, and with that, the hidden one is about to start, and oh boy, I think with the overall difficulty of this map pool, and this map in particular, it does come to the question of consistency. Who was the most consistent one here? So far, Vietnam had 2 matches here, and both of those placements, both of these performances that they've shown, they were quite underwhelming in comparison to Denmark, and Denmark have to prove that they are indeed consistent on this map, that this hidden one is indeed in their favor. The map starts off a little bit of a 1-6, a little bit of a 1/3 and 1/4 mixed in together. An intro does catch KCOFX off guard, and a lot of back drops from him as well, but still, same can be said about Denmark. Iron Will and the Beast Jonah losing a lot of accuracy on the intro, which gives Vietnam an early lead.
Yeah, that first section is definitely a killer in disguise, but past that section there is one more tricky burst to be await upon, but until then we shall play a swingy hidden one for the whole family. 3v4 on the full combo, and Vietnam holding on to their lead for a moment.
And that miss from Aura Fister is not going to help the Denmark situation at all, exacerbating their situation, their dire situation even more, as Vietnam once again have the keys to start up the car and just ride away with this. So far, 1/3 of the map gone, and 3 FCs are still holding with the recovery from KCO. Does find a miss, though, into their transition on the slow section, too. The Beast Jonah also not being able to find the combo there. Is just 3 FCs against 2. Sobu and Iron Will against a wall of the FCs from Vietnam. As Vietnam, the momentum is on their side. The combo is going to grow rapidly. Denmark, they need to see misses from Vietnam. They need it desperately, but so far, the slow section not catching anyone off guard. And with that, we are going to be transitioning into the main KI.
Alt and now 3v2.5 full combo. Vietnam still leading the charge. Denmark, the double miss from Sobu and the Beast Jonah. And Vietnam trying to prove themselves worthy on to winning this hidden one. Maybe it is indeed a bit of a low roll last week, but the double miss coming from Simi and something else will leave Dev stranded against Ironville. A 1v1 accuracy much more comfortable for Dev, but one miss can absolutely end this glorious potential of a breakpoint.
You gotta consider Aura Fister's recovery combo, the supporting combo doing wonders right now for Vietnam. If Death breaks, it's all gonna be over, but the time is of the essence, and the time is the resource that Denmark needs. It does shift towards the right, but with Death not missing, and with the miss from Iron Will as well, all the chances are now gone as Death closes out this map with an FC, and to take a breakpoint for Vietnam.
A perfect full combo, 2 for 2. Dev showing that he can count and that you can count on him, because this is kind of crazy. Vietnam will once again have an opportunity to pick a map for themselves, and I am very much looking at probably, Hot Rock 1, they did really well. Maybe Fremont 3, one another kind of a map. Nomad 1 is up in the air since everyone can play it, but those 2 maps are the main ones I'm looking for.
Exactly. That Hot Rock 1 is looking so good for Vietnam right now. On paper, they did perform better than Denmark, but once again, screw the paper, screw the statistics, because we've just seen a good example of statistics not basically mattering at all, as Vietnam outdid themselves in Denmark on a low roll for this hidden one. And with that being said, HR1 does remain a question, a lingering map that Vietnam can pick. Fremont 3 also something to be of note here, as Fremont 2 also that flow aim stream map, another O2 original waiting for it to be picked too. And yeah, we do get that. We do see that Fremont 2 Ebimayo Nightmare invitation. It is time for some streams, Blank Tap.
Well, I mean, I don't know why I'm saying that after looking at that crazy breakpoint, but on paper, I gotta have something to base my opinions upon. This is a 50-50, both of them getting basically the same score, and we know how stream maps are, one chain miss, and that is plenty of your score capped, and I am very much scared for this pick. Oh boy, I mean, so far, Vietnam has been, I guess, keeping the aim picks in their back pocket. I don't even know if they're gonna unleash the aim picks soon enough, but hey, they know better, they know best.
They know better, they know best, and they know what they want. They did surprise us with that Nomad 4 pick, outscoring Denmark. They surprised us on Hidden 1. It's time to witness more surprises yet again. Free mod 2, 2 minutes and 15 seconds long. Free mod map. I think Def went with Hard Rock last time, and I would imagine Sobu going with either Hidden or Hard Rock. A lot of potential for overmodding on this map too. 195 BPM. The flow aim is not going to be the main, well, obviously one of the main aspects of this map, but still not as prevalent as for Nomad 2 on the qualifiers map, for example, right? This one is going to be a lot more heavier BPM-wise and a lot more heavier tapping and stamina-wise, so stamina is also going to be a factor here. And we did see that Vietnam were not looking good on the speed, but obviously this map is going to be a lot lower on the BPM, so there is going to be that edge that they might take on for themselves. But again, this is a pretty coin flippy pick. Not sure whether it was the right direction for Vietnam, but I think Vietnam, on paper, they have a lot of potential to prove themselves on this Rimatsu.
Currently though, looking at the roster, it is the same as they were when fighting against Taiwan, with another guy potentially going hot top here again, and Casio with the Hidden. On the other side, one mysterious player with the name of Loading, but maybe we will see it in action soon enough. There's, oh, it's going to be Out of Fister actually with the chicken burger in the chat, you can see that. But indeed, it is time for free mod 2. It's time to stream.
It's just so menacing. The loading, not being able to load into the map as well. And we obviously know that it's Out of Fister. Hopefully, knowing Vanshu, it might take a while for it to restart because you might have to press the panic button multiple times. But, well, I guess we are going to wait until another Fister does load in. But it looks increasingly unlikely so far. And, yeah, Vietnam... Good start for them. A good, not a good start, never mind. Another guy with a huge chain miss in the beginning, and I guess we just have to wonder what is happening on that bottom right screen.
It's all about suspension, you know, it's all about the tension. But right now, though, another guy not doing too well in the beginning. Polo, on the other hand, oh, never mind, that was a Bancho miss. I was about to mention how he recovered quite nicely as the other player, but so far, 3v3 full combos. At least that those who are visible to us, to say the least. And Denmark off a good start with the double miscount from Vietnam and none to trade. The Beast Jonah will be the one that is coming in for the fourth player rather than Out of Fister actually, Lion.
Exactly, and with their sport now loading in as well, Denmark does have the edge against Vietnam. Def and Bao, the only two players of the FCs, 2 versus 3, as IamWill, Sobu, and Pole is going to be the wall to try and stop them. A miss from Casio, not helping the situation for Vietnam as well. Another guy, also the modded players for Vietnam, not being able to hold the combos while Denmark is running away with this. Still a third of the map, already a massive advantage that just keeps on growing. Pole does find a miss on the aim though, but still it's 2 versus 2 with a huge bank of score backing Denmark.
100,000 points difference. This is not looking good. Vietnam proving that statistics are only numbers on a paper, but that can absolutely backfire as we are witnessing right now as you go into the last section, the last few streams. And time will not be their friend. Denmark still on the double full combo run with IamWill and Sobu. Vietnam got 2 points on the board. Denmark got 2 FCs on free mod 2. No longer after I say that, but IamWill will rename himself to I am fishing this map. Oh my days, that is clean. Oh, did he full combo as well? He did actually.
He did full combo. Well, Bao and IamWill, both really close score-wise as well, and the accuracy-wise. IamWill slightly a better accuracy by basically just a 150. But yep, Denmark does take the free mod 2, and the breakpoint that they also needed, and momentum suddenly shifted towards their side, and a huge opportunity for them to try and come back into this game. And I am looking at those reading maps once more, at those speed. We've talked about it time and time again. Hidden One, obviously, not being reading, being more about ult and aim control. Backfired. A complete disaster for Vietnam. You might have to go with something else, and I think with the ban from Vietnam on DT2, Nomad 2 seems like the best option they have so far. Unless they want to go Hidden 2, which is I'm also not against.
I really do agree. Those two are the prime suspect of Denmark's next method on obtaining their point. I think Hidden 2 is much less volatile than something like Hidden 1, and again, Vietnam not really the best on the hidden side, but maybe they're gonna prove Denmark wrong, or maybe Denmark is kind of staying away from that pick. So I really do think that the next best option is indeed Nomad 2.
Yep.
Just wait for them to pull the trigger, yeah.
Pull the trigger, get the gun loading, and basically start off with that Nomad 2, the speed of the bullet, as Denmark on paper does have an edge with that DT2 ban from Vietnam, and both the Vietnam scores on that Nomad 2 being quite underwhelming in comparison to Denmark. Still, they are taking their sweet time to think, and as they are thinking, I mean, yeah, we got a Fremont 1 instead. Interesting. It does lean towards that techie style once more, and we did see Vietnam taking that Nomad 4 for themselves. This one is going to be a lot more flow heavy in comparison, though, not that slider heavy. So an interesting choice considering that, but not. I might see the vision, and I will let them cook.
I do see it, but it is a bit iffy. No, I mean, we've seen how Vietnam did on Nomad 4, but this map in particular is so brutal on the flow aim alongside the tech element. I suppose Denmark is backing off of that uncomfortableness from Vietnam. But this is very interesting. I am quite excited to see how Denmark will fare against Vietnam in this map.
Fascinating indeed. I do not remember in particular whether both of these teams played this map, so definitely in uncharted territory for both of these teams. We are going blind into this, and that's what makes this map even more interesting, BlankTap. And I think we can have a lot of theories, a lot of thoughts for the rosters. I would imagine that Def is going to join for Vietnam, Sobu for Denmark, obviously. The two star players on the opposing team, Simi also for Vietnam as well. But other players, what do you think we're going to see right now, BlankTap?
This is very tough. Probably a mixture of what you saw on Nomad 4 and just now Fremont 2. I do think maybe I'm the Will coming in. Okay, I will coming in. Oh, actually going to run up the roster for Denmark, and I mean, guess that Pokemon Maiden. Who's gonna be in number 4? Yep, it's Def of Vietnam completing their roster as well.
Yep, the pretty obvious choice here, but still, Vietnam, the good luck of funds are now in the chat. It's going to be Denmark's pick once again, not the pick that I was expecting for them, especially considering that Vietnam won that Nomad 4. I think if anything, if Fremont 1 makes more sense for Vietnam to be picking this map, but nonetheless, I digress on this one. And with that, we are going to be starting off with this Fremont 1. A lot to prove, and probably prove me wrong as well, since I'm pretty skeptical of this pick from Denmark.
It is time, and we are seeing Bao and Hardrock this time around alongside Casio on Hidden. On the other side, Paul on the Hardrock, and the Beast Jonah with the Hidden. It is time to play a bit of a combination of Nomad 4 and Fremont 2 just now. Not a long map, 1 minute and 48 seconds, so you know things about to get real spicy if you miss any point of this map. First part, very calm, but once again, you know how it goes on any kind of tech map. The real map starts after quite a bit of an appetizer and a bit of combo building.
Combo building as well. As you've said, every single miss is gonna matter. Every single miss is on the line, so you gotta hold on. There's a lot in this map, and Def is not starting off with a good start here. The Beast Jonah also trading the first PI now on the board. Pull also finds him as BFCs against 2, and Iron Will also not being able to find the combos. KTO also falling as Bao and Simi are the ones holding for Vietnam. Yet another miss from Def, and Sobu is the only one standing the first PI, not spearing a lot of people, and it's not even the hardest part of the map, as there's also the second PI waiting for us, which is even more brutal than that. Simi, yet another miss, and with that, the second FC for Vietnam drops, and Bao and Sobu are going to be the only ones battling it out on this 3-1.
An absolute pandemonium on the battlefield. Sobu with a very solid no-mod combo, and Bao, his combo being held with hopes and dreams of the Vietnamese people with the hard rock nonetheless, but it will shatter as the full combo is now gone. Sobu, the last man standing. Overall, Iron Will finding the miss though. It's a 2v1. Def and Simi trying to hold it up, but Simi falls, leaving only the star Def fighting off against Sobu's full combo. And there will not be a fight. A bit of a miss at the end, but nothing but a hiccup. Denmark back in action, 2-4-2.
It's Sobu time, and we did see Def doing really well on those maps prior to that, but Sobu also basically coming into the room and saying, hold up, I'm also a star player, it's time for me to shine as well, and he does exactly that, equalizing the score, and now a full momentum shift. And who else to do that other than Sobu, the main player for Denmark? Obviously the support from Iron Will, Paul, and every single other player was of the essence, but still a massive step up from Sobu. And now with the score being equalized, we are now in a best of 5 blank tap at Vietnam. It's going to be their turn to pick, and we've been talking about those aim picks throughout the entire matchup, throughout this entire stream, and if anything, I think it's time to finally put down the trump card.
I mean, if we can count, there is 3 aim maps. Vietnam needs only 2. Denmark, though, on the other hand, is something that I wanna talk about regarding what they're gonna go for. I guess Hidden 2 is their clear next step, and that Nomoto is definitely quite enticing. So I guess we do have a list of something that we're expecting from both sides with their 2 remaining picks.
Yup, the options are there, and the time to choose, you gotta pick it carefully. And we see Nomad 3. Interesting, because I think both of these teams played Nomad 3. I guess we were just not predicting anything today, but Nomad 3 actually was played by Vietnam. They got a 1.9 million team score on the Nomad 3, AR7 Newton map, a 4-star map, but do not let the starring deceive you, because this map is probably one of the hardest in the pool. A lot of overlap reading, a lot of interesting rhythms, 1-1 gaps, 1-2 gaps, 1-4 gaps, 2-1 gaps. It's just a fest for reading players. And actually Denmark did not play this map, so I guess we'll see. Line tap.
Once again, how are we still seeing maps that both teams haven't really played? I suppose, as you said, Vietnam has played this once, but man, I suppose today's a day full of surprise. Autofister is in.
Yep, indeed. And Autofister is indeed in. Sobu is also going to be in as well. Not sure whether he is comfortable already. He should be comfortable on just about everything, but this is such a skill set blank tap that not a lot of players play. It's a very gimmicky one, a very specialized one too, so maybe the strategy might be there, the strategy to try and isolate the best player from Denmark from the rest of the team, but I think Sobu should still be quite comfortable on this, as we are just waiting for the star players to join the lobby, I suppose.
The last piece of the puzzle. It's quite clear what goes in the square hole. Just wait for the block to come in, I suppose. There's Def, and we need 1 more for Denmark. Probably 2 more, as someone has just left actually.
Interesting. Yeah, Sobu is back, and I am Will. Yeah, exactly. I think they went exactly for the strategy right here. Sobu does join in, so the star players are still back, not an attempt to isolate them, but probably make them uncomfortable. But let's see how this goes. A lot to prove. An uncharted territory for Denmark. And a 3-minute and 41-second map as well. Does that add that element of consistency to the map? A very lengthy one. A lot of room for maneuvering and a lot of room for misses.
Yeah, you'll see this team going around in this map, those doubles, those squads, a mixture of both, some pauses in the stacks, so you can't really autopilot any of the pairs in this map. Vietnam with the Nova 3, let's see if it will work out. Chocolate Disco, and already seeing a bit of a missile coming from something else, but it is still very much the beginning. In the 3-minute and 41 minutes map, we have a long way to go.
Yep, not that of a crucial miss. The misses are gonna matter once the combos are gonna build, and they are now starting to build indeed. Will does find a miss. This one is gonna be a lot more crucial, especially given his comfort level. Look at that accuracy, Blank Tap. 91%. Another miss from Sobu does give that early lead towards Vietnam, as 3 FCs with 1 recovery from something else are holding on, and the accuracies as well. Oh god, look at those accuracies. They're looking so comfortable on this.
Yeah, I suppose Sobo isn't comfortable at all, and as you said, isolated. He is in purgatory right now. 93% accuracy down to 92. I suppose Vietnam has done their research very well, because Denmark has never played this map.
Indeed, a lot of guessing maybe, not just guessing, a lot of research, a lot of strategy being built. Otofister also finding a miss earlier on, and it's just a massive wall of combos for Vietnam. The only one trying to stand up for them is going to be the Beast Jonas. First PI is where the map does pick up a little bit on that reading department. Otofister and Will not being able to handle that, finds a miss, a double miss from Denmark, exacerbating the situation even further as it just continues to lean towards Vietnam. Basically a double score lead for them as we speak, and it just keeps on growing. Can somebody stop Vietnam? How are they holding the combos for so long? It's just the Beast Jonah for Denmark, and Vietnam, they basically have a quad FC.
This is definitely a sight to behold. Now reaching double of that. That is Denmark's score, and I am all for it. Half of the map remains, so plenty of ways to go. Vietnam, let's see if they have plenty in their gas tank, because I for one would love to see basically 4 FCs on this map, especially with how you kind of mentioned that this is such a focused, specific skill set, and yet they are showing how it's done as a 4-man team.
A 4-man team and no combos for Denmark to try and even contest them. Look at the score lead. Look at the score for Vietnam. Basically a hydrogen bomb versus Coughing Baby here. Vietnam absolutely decimating Denmark, and no chances for Denmark to try and come back into this map. All eyes are going to be on Vietnam, and with that being said, the question is, will they deliver that? Will they get a quad FC? Will we get more FCs? But no, something else finds him as still 3 FCs remaining as we get into the final KI of this map. Still only just a little bit left, but already look at this team score. Vietnam is just doing wonders on this map. Def finds him as another FC dropping, but still 2 FCs holding on.
This is absolutely phenomenal. Simeon Electrostrike still with their nuclear warhead of a full combo, down to 1, but there's nothing much to be done from the side of Denmark.
Nothing much indeed.
Pretty good 550k combo, score to cut the lead down to 2 million. Vietnam gets their 3rd point.
Oh wow, a 2 million lead. That is basically triple the score of Denmark. Give or take about 200,000 score, but still such a domination from Vietnam on this reading. And now suddenly, we've talked about Vietnam possibly being worse off on reading, but all of our thoughts were proven wrong with just this map. Obviously, the FC is not there, but such a good team score. Look at those scores. And if you're Denmark, what are you even supposed to do when Vietnam plays like this? a huge morale boost for them, I would imagine, too. And now it's going to be Denmark's turn to pick, and I don't even know what to pick after this map.
I do understand. I will be quite shell-shocked to say the least, but nonetheless, though, maybe it is time to get out of the reading forest and go into the tapping park. Nomotu is right there, and I will be absolutely shocked if we see any other maps other than that one. Denmark, please let me have one correct prediction of a pick.
I mean, they gotta go with that. The Hidden 2 now suddenly looks like basically a landmine, just ready to be stepped on, and I think Wilmot 2 is probably the safest choice that Denmark has right now, given that GT2 ban, given their scores on speed. So you basically have a do-or-die situation here. You have to go for that to try and stay competitive. Otherwise, if Vietnam wins this map, they will be on match point, and whilst having a match point, they will have their own pick right after that, and it's gonna be such a... Oh, we get an Omar 1 instead!
Nomad 1! This is unforeseeable, this is outrageous, this is crazy! Nomad 1 pick, this is my first time witnessing that on any matches that I watched. But oh my god, it is time for Forza, yes!
Forza, map by Forza, a Turkish song by a Turkish mapper, 3 minutes and 42 seconds long, and a lot of comfortable consistency aim. And, well, this map was actually played once throughout the group stage against China and Thailand, so definitely a whole another beast of a matchup. Vietnam and Denmark being on the side of contenders, so probably the scores might be lower, but Nomad 1 is a type of map that basically anyone can play, right? This is a standard aim map, obviously lengthy, obviously the consistency is required, but it does that a bit. That element of RNG is still there, right? And with that, this Nomad 1 pick is so risky. I think it's even more risky than Nomad 2.
It was definitely quite a bold step to take into the fog of war. There is Nomad 1. I suppose that it is clear that everyone can aim, but only a select few is consistent at it, and Denmark trying to prove that they are a better team in that regard. Def coming in, completing the Vietnamese roster, waiting for Denmark to complete theirs.
And who else other than Sobu? Once again, the star players joining in last. And with the good luck and funs in the chat, we are now going to be starting off with this Nomad 1. 3 minutes and 42 seconds long. A lot of aim. I would imagine a lot of combo drops are awaiting us as well. So definitely a fog of war, as you've mentioned. A lot of unexpected things might happen, and it all comes down to this map. Let's see how Vietnam will perform and whether Denmark will be able to equalize the score or Vietnam will take a match point.
OD9 expecting minimal 98% from all players, so in a sense 400,000 score is a very heavy low roll for all players involved, so definitely a bottom score line that we have to pay attention to as Bao finds the first miss for Vietnam, and Jonah with Auto Fister for the first and second miss for Denmark. A 3v2 right off the bat, and this is definitely a shaky start you do not want to see on a Nomad 1.
Exactly, a shaky start as well. And speaking of shake, Nomad 1, given the overall requirement for aim and the fact that the nerfs might be high, this map is even more dangerous than it is already. Realshin does find a miss on the slow section though. 2 FCs against 2 once again with Bao. A good recovery from him as it does give that edge towards Denmark with 2 recoveries from Autofister and the Beast Jonah. But it's still just the quarter of the map transitioning into the KI now. That's where a lot of misses are found. Realshin and the Beast Jonah finding the misses, but it's not the combos that matter. It's not the recoveries. Autofister, no recoveries for Denmark. It's just the FCs, but Bao being the difference maker here, being the only recovery combo for Vietnam, still holding on as the first KI is now finished. But Queso though finds this right after the break.
Oh, Sobu finds a miss as well. This is once again an absolute chaos from all angles, leaving only Ironville and Dev as the dust settles back down. Oh my god, bruh. But other than that, 1v1 on Dev against Ironville, 77k difference. Vietnam ahead by quite a margin.
Indeed, still half of the map left. Dev, the hope for Vietnam, and IMWill, the hope for Denmark. They need this point. Vietnam, they need this for a match point. Denmark, they need this to equalize the score, to try and stay afloat, to not give Vietnam that edge. A few misses coming in from Bao and Casio, not helping the situation. Still a massive lead towards Denmark now. The Autofister does find a miss. The combo advantage is going to be on Denmark's side, as I've stated prior, but still, it's just about anyone's game as long as IMWill and Dev are holding the Ki still on the high rise, and Dev finds a miss. That's the opening, and that's the opening that IMWill is willing to exploit. The combos are there. He just needs to hold on. It does switch towards the right. Still a third of the map left. Will needs to hold on, and he does exactly that.
44k difference. Ironville refusing to look homeless. 1000 combo, keeping everything tidy, putting every furniture there is, making his home look so damn good. 1000 combo. Denmark is rising up with the lead.
It's such a good place to hold a combo on the slow section. Obviously, you can still miss on that, but you can hold on for longer, and the score gap, the score difference is going to rise even further. The Beast Joiner finds him as the last Ki now on our screens. Autofister finds him as Sobu, good on the recovery, but all eyes are IMWill, the hero of this map, the hero of Nomad 1, to save Denmark from the impending doom. As the Ki just continues to hold on, Blacktap, will he secure the FC on this map? He already did enough. It's the matter of prestige, and he is chasing for that. The combo, he's still holding on. Look at how he's aiming this jump. Sobu finds a miss. Not just Casey holding on to the combos, and IMWill sadly dropping the FC, but he did so much for his team right where they needed them the most. And with that, Denmark is back in the game, and the score is 3-3.
Of 3, ladies and gentlemen. One last pick guaranteed from both teams. Well, whatever happens, happens. And Vietnam, what are they gonna do? I don't dare to say any more predictions because it will be wrong. This match has been going from one corner to the other, has been flipping the tables upside and downside. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to expect.
A roller coaster of emotions, a roller coaster of picks and skill sets. And with that, Vietnam, their final pick. A lot of options still yet to choose. We did talk about that hard rock one for the entire match, but might as well just forget about that. Look at Hidden 2. Look how Vietnam did on Nomad 3. Obviously, Hidden 2 is going to be a whole different beast. This is not going to be your overlap rating. This is just going to be a reading with some mechanics involved, some streams, some aim too. So, a different type of reading, basically outright. Well, Denmark, you gotta look at those towards those weaknesses. That TT3 probably looks like a good pick for Denmark if they lose this map. But yeah, that being said though, I think the main idea here is to try and go for either HR1 or Hidden 2. I think Fremont Free, given the consistency, given the aim that Denmark has shown, given that star performance from IMWill, is looking quite dangerous. So a lot of options and a lot of time for Vietnam to choose.
Yeah, the problem of picking Hot Rock 1 now, I feel, is that kind of mental blockage after looking at the Nomad 1 performance. Are they gonna go for it? Not Nomad 5! Letter to the Black, where we're going precision lighten. What is this game?
Wow, this is just basically rolling a die and picking a map where the die lands on. I honestly don't understand the thought process behind this, but I can respect that. A whole different skill set, a whole different front line. Precision, CS 7.4, map by 0 PP and Osu, 2 minutes long. Very basically Osu for ants. The circles are gonna be small, and obviously there's some elements of light tech and a little bit of a gimmick on the second third of the map. And I don't know what to expect, Blacktop. What do you think of this pick?
I got nothing, bro. I mean, this map consisting of that one very, very important diff spike that I've been seeing that kind of changes the tide in an instant. The first part is definitely just precision consistency, which I've actually haven't seen too much from both of these teams. So once again, we are off of the papers on our numbers, and we are only left with our imaginations of what could even happen. But you know what? I mean, I suppose Vietnam kind of rolling their picks, but they've been rolling natural 20s plenty of times. So I suppose I just have to believe, Lion.
All they have is to believe. The hopes and dreams still running. A final pick for Vietnam. The players are in the lobby. Let's see how they will perform on this Delmont 5, how they will perform on that dip spike on the second, third, where you will see those peeps that you were hearing in the song. That's where the sliders get basically horizontal sliders throughout the entire map, cross-screen sliders that might catch a few people off guard, but I would imagine that both of these teams, the second week of groups now happening, right? They had to practice this. And now it's going to be the best time to try and show up to either steal a breakpoint for Denmark or to try and get a match point if you're Vietnam. Do or die situation, a best of 3. Will we see a tiebreaker? That's the question that is lingering on a lot of people's minds, but so far, it's just Nomad 5.
Yeah, we go CS 7.4, a bit higher than the even Hot Rock too. So let's get right into this one. Going to the first section, Sun Sliders here, and they're very, very small hubs, but very, very precise. Vietnam with the double miss to start themselves off.
Not the best start considering the length of the map. This is going to hurt them a little bit, but still not as crucial as the misses that will come in further, especially on the dip spike that we'll be talking about. So far, a good edge towards Denmark, but I Am Will, the hero of Nomad 1, finding a miss on this precision map and does give a little bit of an advantage towards Vietnam as it shifts a little towards the left. Still, a third of the map now gone. Bao finds a miss, traded by the Beast Jonah almost immediately. But still, it does favor Vietnam on paper with those combos from Casio and Simi. It's a 2 versus 2 with a good recovery from Def.
Oh, what? The double miss, and that's an instant wipe off the board for Denmark. Def and Casio with the early miss. But that's the method, getting rid of the nerves, it seems. And they are the last two standing like peas in a pot, peanut butter and jelly, chicken and nugget, you know, 160k difference going into the KI section. Casio will fall. The 520 combo going into this solo section. These boss sliders are definitely praying for them, itching for a miss from Def, but he refuses. Everyone falling, everyone unable to stand up to this KI, but Def is the one and only shining star for Vietnam and in this lobby.
Def, once again, we've seen I Am Will being the hero on the Nomad 1. Def taking that mantle for themselves, doing the same for Nomad 5, holding on, an early miss in the beginning, not even mattering in the slightest as he closes out this map with a style to grant Vietnam their match point. And now Denmark is one map away from 0-3 loss in this group unless they find a pick and force tiebreaker.
I'm really scared. Why is this map? Why is this match kind of crazy though? This is match, definitely something to behold. Yeah.
Again, the pride, the honor. You might not be advancing out of the groups, but you're having fun, and that's all that matters. I would imagine the players are having a match of their lifetime so far, and Denmark, it's gonna be their turn to pick, and we talked about that Nomad too. Basically throughout the entire match. Surely they will pick it next this time, right?
Yeah, I really do not know what to say or what Denmark is gonna opt in for. I'm still in the team of them just going at it, just tapping number 2. But I don't know. It's
I would not
really
be
tough
surprised.
to call for anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if we see something like GT3, which Denmark did pretty good on their matches against Taiwan and against Vietnam, not Vietnam, sorry, against Malaysia. But HR2 is being picked, and that is a bold statement. Picking precision after losing a precision pick, that is bold. That is brave.
I got nothing, man. Yeah, like, we've been hyping up Denmark number 2, tapping Warlords, and they've been avoiding it like the plague, and now their last pick is going to be Precision Burst Ult. My goodness, this match is something else.
It is something else, and it is an OS original that we were talking about. Memo Demo Show Off Showdown. This is going to be your precision alt map, as you've said prior. Also about average in length, and I think, well, I mean, obviously, we did see both teams playing Nomad 5, and Vietnam did take an edge over Denmark there, looking pretty confident, but HR2, Vietnam did play that map prior against Malaysia, getting a 2.6 million score, so with that, I guess Denmark looked at that score and said, we can do better, and we are gonna show up, and they better show up because their tournament life, I mean, obviously is already gone, but nonetheless, their honor is on the line, and they need to defend that.
I do agree, you know. It's time to go home with something in hand, and Denmark is willing to do anything to get that done. Post Sobu, the Pigeon, and I am Will on this Hatro 2, ready to play this map. Dev is in, Bao and another guy. There's Casio. Good luck, have fun. The last pickable map of this match is in, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be an original indeed. Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun. It's either going to be a win for Vietnam or it's going to be a tiebreaker. And I know all of you in the chat are itching for that tiebreaker. But let's see whether Denmark does deliver. It's their pick. It's a do or die situation. And then when a mouse is cornered, that's when they get the most dangerous. And with that, we start off with this HR2. The Beast Jonah still loading in. And finally, the ult and precision in question. The Osu 4 Ans Part 2. Now on our screens, no misses so far. Just a few act drops early on. Nothing too crazy, nothing too scary yet. But the map does pick up, and that's where it does pick up. The first KI immediately on the board. Pole does find the first miss on the KI, but still the accuracy looking so good for Denmark, especially with that accuracy from Casio not being able to find his game, with Bao 2 struggling on the accuracy department, which still maintains the lead for Denmark.
But looking much more comfortable on the accuracy. 3 good accuracy compared to 2. But combo is king in this kingdom. Going to the first K section now. 3v1 or 2 full combo action as Sobu finds the miss. No trades just yet in the side of Vietnam. But there's the miss from Casio. But that's not the big hitter. Will is now going to Beast Jonah as well. 3 players remain for Vietnam against no in the side of Denmark. This is looking mighty dangerous.
This is looking so bleak for Denmark. The Free SCs are still holding, and it's the slow section. Look at that score lead grow. It's just Pole with the recovery. But Vietnam, they are doing it again. They've done that on Nomad 3, and they're doing it again on this HR2. Obviously, Casio did find a miss earlier on, but still, there is no combos to contest this advance from Vietnam. This basically a slaughter happening in our screens at the moment. It does lead towards 400,000. Bao does find a miss. The FC dropped an opening, an opportunity for Denmark, but they need to see more than that. They need more misses from Vietnam, but they're just not coming in, especially from that miss with Sobu. It's looking oh so bleak.
Bao,
oh no.
He's back?
Oh no, it's a Bancho like as well.
Man. Quite the resurrection, to say the least. 500k difference, and the Beast Jonah will fall for the last man standing. And no longer standing. Iron Veil with 600 combo, but that's the only substantial combo in the side of Denmark. Dev has finally found himself a miss. But Nargain Bao got his back as Vietnam absolutely walking with their head high. 5-3. It's their
Bells
win.
are ringing. The bells are ringing for Vietnam. It's a victory for another guy as well. Bad FC does close out this match with a fashion 5-3, leading towards Vietnam. And with that, both of these teams have played all of their matches for the group stages. Denmark, what a way to go. What a way to send off your teams into another year. As inconsequential as it might have been, this was an entertaining match, with both Vietnam and Denmark showing us wonders throughout this entire matchup, and I am glad to have casted this. Well, with that being said, Blank Tap, I think it is time for us to conclude this match, isn't it?
A bit of a tiebreaker showcase is a brewing, but big respect once more for both Vietnam and Denmark. Plenty good showing from the both of them. Vietnam not going home without an MTM, to say the least. So that is very nice, very beautiful. And yeah, I mean, I suppose we shall anticipate either the tiebreaker showcase or maybe we end it right here and then.
Maybe, but something that I wanted to say is that both of these teams obviously both were eliminated prior to this match, but oh, this match was such a cinema. And with that being said, I think it is time for us to shout out banners. Make sure to buy those banners to support your favorite team for OSU World Cup. It does also contribute to the prize pool, so make sure to support your favorite team and help out with the OSU World Cup organization. But that being said, though, I think whether we see this showcase or not, casting this match for you was Leiden and Blank Tap. And yep, I guess we're going to be seeing this tiebreaker.
We are doing it. Alright, scratch, hide the points, ladies and gentlemen. 4-2 for Denmark with an amazing comeback. And it's time for the tiebreaker Destin Victorica. It's going to be the Hard Dance mix and also going to be the Nightcore mix. Oh yeah, it's tiebreaker time.
Yep. Even though this match has been concluded in Vietnam's favor, it's always nice to see the tiebreakers being played. Such a good show of sportsmanship for both of these teams, and well, a good way to conclude this match as well. And I think me and Blank Tap are gonna have a blast in this tiebreaker. This is a heavily mechanics favored one as well. There's a lot of streams, there's a lot of aim, there's some tech elements to that too, so something to note here for the map itself. The rosters look, but yeah, they don't have Def on Vietnam, surprisingly enough, but still, Real Shin does play for Vietnam, so he is back in. And with that, I guess we are going to be transitioning into this tiebreaker.
This is, I don't know, near and dear, you know, we love Nightcore in this household, and seems that everyone should be ready up soon enough. 6 minutes and 8 seconds. It is your classic DNB burst and jump map. No tricks, it is as simple as it can get. Consistency, consistency, and consistency. It's time for the tiebreaker.
Oh, look at the mods for Vietnam. Something else in KCO with Hidden Hard Rocks.
Ooh!
Overmodding present on this tiebreaker.
Alright, here we go. Won't say no to a Hot Rock full combo showcase on this map in particular, so let's get it going.
Yep, let's see whether that backfires for Vietnam. Obviously, it doesn't really matter, but it's about having fun, and having fun they will have. Real Shin not being able to find the combos early on as Denmark still not being able to find the combos in general for their Hard Rock player. Norkilled not holding on to that, but Hidden Hard Rocks are still holding, still looking comfortable. KCO does find a miss though, but something else is with that combo, along with an SS from Bao early on.
Absolutely 5,000 score difference, so things are still very much close as we go into the first section with no one missing, and now the slow part just chilling, flourishing, staying in their lane. Norkilled finding a miss on the slow section, but not too big of a deal. This map is plenty long, plenty dense, and there goes the last hot rock combo. So I suppose we're looking for the Nomad players for any kind of full combo.
Indeed we are, and the combo advantage is going to be on Denmark's side. 3 versus 2. Realtion does find a miss though. It's just Bao versus 3 players from Denmark holding on to their combos. The Beast Jonah, IamWill, and Sobu. All of these players, they have put so much work throughout this entire match, and I think it would be so rewarding for them to take this tiebreaker for themselves. But nonetheless, Bao, the only obstacle in their way, still holding on to the combo, still being as strong as ever. KCO not being able to find the combos as well as something else too, not recovering as the Beast Jonah finds a miss along with Bao. The final FC dropping for Vietnam as it's just Will and Sobu.
Indeed, and I don't know, on showcases I like to treat it as a free-for-all, so let's just kind of think of this as a 1v1 currently between Sobu and I feel they are still going at it with the full combos. 4K lead to Denmark nonetheless, but still kind of anticipating for any kind of full combos, and it is slowly but surely being formed into reality. 1/3 of the map is gone, 2/3 more to go. And Sobu is the last man standing, oh boy.
Oh boy indeed, and 1/3 of the map gone, and the KI is high on the rise on our screens. The streams are there, quite a comfortable flow-wise, but Sobu continues to hold on. 1/3 of the map, the KI is now gone. No combos for Vietnam, just Realtion, but Sobu does find a miss in the middle. Basically, the score cap is going to hurt him significantly, but still, Realtion, the highest combo now in the lobby. He has been silent. I don't think he was in a single map throughout this entire matchup, and with that, for Vietnam, he can finally show up like he is capable of, and he is definitely capable of something if he's holding on to that combo, that's for sure.
I'm guessing Vietnam has been keeping him in their back pocket. He is doing really well in this tiebreaker. It will be quite a bit of a feat to just show up in the tiebreaker after not really involved in any of the maps. Oh, but he does find the slider break, so 160k difference. Denmark is still very much in the lead. God, Hard Rock is nasty on this map.
Yep, Hard Rock on this map is insane, and I'm honestly a bit surprised how anyone is holding combos in this. The highest score among the Hard Rock players, so gonna be something else. Does find a miss though, but Sobu also not being able to hold on the combos for much longer, as the 2 highest combo in the lobby for now is gonna be Will and the Beast Jonah. 900 combo and 700 combo respectively, and with 1/3 of the map now gone. I mean, it obviously does favor Vietnam, but treating it as a free-for-all, it's a race with Sobu and IamWill.
Going into this pretty funky slow part, and will increase his combo to 1100 combo. The Beast Jonah with 900 as well. But once again, the streams rises up, and we're about to go into the big 1-2s. And this is one of those nerf killer parts of the tiebreaker. Very big jump. Oh my god, the Beast Jonah will find a miss, but IamWill, we've seen what he can do on Nomad 1, and he is quite a sharpshooter.
Realtion is probably tired a little, I can get that. The map is very long, 6 minutes long, putting his pen down, putting his mouse down, whatever he's playing on. Finally back to finish the map, but nonetheless, IamWill, look at that combo. Imagine if we had tiebreaker, IamWill would have been the hero of Denmark, but it only remains a hypothetical. What ifs, sadly, are not the reality, and you always got to remember that Vietnam did take this victory with a score of 5-3. And honestly, the thing about group stages that is just honestly beautiful is the fact that even though both of these teams were already eliminated, we've seen this match. We've seen this absolute cinema of a match. Scores, picks going left, right, and center. And I think this does show how effective group stages are, not just for players, but also for viewer enjoyment as well.
Giving a chance to kind of shine light on basically the not so top team. Unreal though, 2100 combo, and that is very nice. Good game, well played for both of these nations.
What a score from Will, but yup, this is gonna be the end of their OWC journey. Sadly, as we've stated countless times, both of these teams will not be qualifying to the main round, but they did deliver us what we did not expect, an absolute masterclass of a match. And I think with the curtains now closing, it's gonna be a good time for us to say our goodbyes. Don't forget to buy those banners to support your favorite teams, to support the OWC team for the prize pool. And we will see you 16 hours from now on for the Norway versus Austria match. Casting this match for you was Leiden and BlankTap, and unless BlankTap has a few final words he has to say, I think this is gonna be where I personally say my goodbyes to all of you.
Forget banner, and banner.
Eat those
Thank you,
banners.
guys. Bye bye.
See you next time.
Thank you.